good afternoon. I am Emily Schraw, joined here by Jack Leto for your halftime report with the Hawkeyes against USC. Pretty good push so far from the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Iowa's been really solid on offense. I mean, this is one of the best offensive halves from Iowa we've seen all year, and by definition over the past 3 or 4 years. The play everybody is talking about that we're certainly going to show you later at 10 is the Philly special, where Caden Weechin flips it to Reese Vanderzee, and Reese Vanderzee, a former high school quarterback at Central Lyon George Little Rock, throws to Mark Gronowski for the touchdown. It's 21-10. Iowa. That touchdown gave him the 21st point. USC answered with a field goal. And Hawkeye fans, if you're watching on your cell phone, on your computer, that's great. And if you're watching on your smart TV, that's great as well. You can download the KCRG app and find this halftime report, this streaming halftime report on your KCRG app on your smart TV. Right after this, you can flip right back to the second half. Emily, let's take a look at some stats.
Let's do it.
Iowa's been really solid on offense. I mean, I'm telling you things you already know if you've watched the game. This is really impressive. They're outgaining USC 212 to 156, and it all started on that initial drive. Iowa goes 69 yards down the field, ending with a Dayton Howard touchdown. It started with a huge pass play. I'm going to give you the exact yardage total in just a second. Mark Gronowski hits 4 of his first 5 passes, including this one I'm highlighting right now, a 44-yard pass to Jacob Gill, putting Iowa in USC territory and leading to the Gronowski 2-yard throw to Dayton Howard. After that, a big 3rd and 5 is the key play I want to highlight, which is right about here, 3rd and 5. Gronowski, this it's a couple of 3rd and 5s. Jazz Patterson goes up the middle. This was a 3rd and 5 from the USC 8. With the way Kirk Ferentz likes to play, I think this is a 4-point play right here. If Jazz Patterson gets 4 yards instead of 6, it's a field goal, and that's fine. But because he picked up the first down, it set up a goal-to-go scenario. Gronowski kept it for the 1-yard touchdown. Let's take a look at some of the big comparisons. I always like to look at third downs. Third down efficiency, here we are. Iowa 3 for 5 on third downs, and 1 of 1 on 4th down. That was the Dayton Howard. Touchdown. So Iowa's been really solid, really efficient. Honestly, if there's one thing I'd like to pick Iowa at, is USC answering that second Iowa touchdown with a touchdown of their own. USC converted on 3 of 3 third downs on their touchdown drive. Let's actually pull up that drive for you right now. It was this one right here. USC goes 11 plays, 75 yards in just under 5 minutes. Brian Jackson ends it with a touchdown. But obviously Iowa's offense was able to answer with that Philly special touchdown. USC does get a field goal near the end of the first half. But if you're Iowa, you can't be mad at up 21-10 on the road against USC. The way you're doing it, too, on offense, answering USC scores with offense is super impressive.
Absolutely, and obviously great to go into the second half with a lead, but how do they keep that momentum going?
I think you got to keep playing mistake-free football if you're Mark Gronowski. I mean, Gronowski's thrown for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, and caught a touchdown. I don't think he's going to return a punt for a touchdown.
Yeah, probably not.
It's been really impressive. I think you just got to play mistake-free football. And if you're the defense, you haven't caused a turnover. I think a turnover and a short field, you give a short field to Mark Gronowski, and you score off of that, that could be the backbreaker, the momentum swing that fully gets you from a comfortable lead to a comfortable win. There's still 2 quarters to go. There's a long, long way to go for Iowa, but I really think they're off to a great start. Obviously, USC gets the ball at the start of the 3rd quarter, so Iowa's going to hope to cause a punt. And you cause a punt and score a touchdown, it's not game over. An 18-point lead is not game over, but that really, really helps you out. I think Phil Parker's going to get on his defense for that 11-play, 75-yard drive. Even the drive before, that went 8 plays, 32 yards. Thankfully for Iowa, it ended with USC 4th down. They couldn't get the 4th down. But other than that, USC's offense has gotten a little bit better, and I think with the way USC plays, their guys don't get tired. I mean, look, Iowa guys don't get tired much either. But eventually, the offense is going to just keep leaning on the Iowa defense. So I think the Iowa defense has got to keep their game up. They can't be on their back heels, because as the field gets wetter and wetter, these USC wide receivers can really make you pay with their quick cuts. Jacoby Lane hasn't been very loud. Same with Mekhi Lemon. Let's actually take a look at the stats. These two guys are the ones to watch for USC. Lane and Lemon, the wide receivers, combining for 8 catches and 73 yards. That's certainly not bad if you're an Iowa fan. They're on pace to each get 8 receptions for under 100 yards. That's not bad if you're Iowa, especially with the way your offense has been playing. This is frankly a little bit surprising. I thought, based on what we saw with the Iowa-Oregon game last week and how low-scoring that was in the rain, you would think, well, maybe Iowa's going to want to keep it low-scoring again. But USC's defense is just, they haven't come to play in the same way Oregon's defenses came to play, and I was really taking advantage.
All right, so let's go back and talk a little bit about the weather. Again, you talked about the rain just a little bit. How much do you think it's really affecting the game so far?
Honestly, I'm not sure it's affecting the game much. If anything, it's favoring Iowa, because clearly they learned what to do in the rain from last week, and they're performing quite well. USC is actually the team that needs to adjust. Let's take a look at the Iowa stats. DJ Vanami with 3 receptions for 56 yards. Vanami caught a touchdown last week for a 3-yard score, but his 3 catches have all been fairly impactful, including the last one that went for 32 yards on the last drive. The last drive of the second quarter. Iowa couldn't turn that into anything, but it shows that, man, this really is tight end you. Addison Ostrenga, remember the starting tight end for the beginning of the season, he's out for the rest of the season. He got injured a few weeks back. We've been waiting. Who's the tight end that's going to fill his shoes? It looks like it's DJ Vanami. And Gronowski, I just want to say again how strong Gronowski has been on the ground and through the air, and now catching the ball. It's incredible. Look at this. Mark Gronowski is on the stat sheet for receiving with the 1 yard, the 1 5-yard catch, and as well as rushing is a 13-yard. That's a net of 13-yard. That takes into account sacks, and he's obviously rushed for a touchdown, and he hasn't made a lot of mistakes. 8 of 11 through the air, no interceptions. If you keep that up, I don't think USC can truly catch Iowa. Iowa's got an 11-point lead. Iowa came back from an 11-point deficit a few weeks ago against Penn State, so it's not impossible. 11 points that's not a lot in the Big Ten, especially against a great wide receiver core with Lemon and Lane for USC and their quarterback, Jaden Mayava. But I really think Iowa is in a great spot. You couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah, and the game's not over until it's over. They got a lot of football left to play. Speaking of Gronowski, almost reminds you a little bit of Josh Allen. I feel like Josh Allen pulls that kind of stuff a lot. Am I right?
You are right. I think Iowa fans will say, "Oh, Josh Allen." That's a bit of high praise there. But he's been compared to Tim Tebow. He's been compared to a Russian quarterback like that. And Gronowski, he played a little linebacker growing up, so Gronowski is not afraid to lower his shoulder and kind of play more like a fullback, even though he is a quarterback. And they're not really asking him to throw it super deep down the field. They haven't really asked him to do it all year long. Gronowski's taking advantage of his strengths, which is through the run. I've just been impressed with not only the actual X's and O's plays of Gronowski, but the way he's had a mind meld with Tim Lester. It didn't happen immediately, obviously. We saw in that Albany game in week 1, Gronowski looked nervous out on the field. He didn't look great against Iowa State in that Cy-Hawk game. But clearly, Tim Lester, offensive coordinator, Kirk Ferentz, and Mark Gronowski have clearly figured out, okay, here's what Mark is good at, and here's how Mark is going to win us football games. And he's winning this game so far. They're up by 11, and he had a chance. Had it not been for a game-winning field goal by Oregon, he would have won that game too. So look, this is not over yet. It's not over yet, and who knows? Maybe Gronowski will have to lead a game-winning drive like he did last week against Oregon. But USC has an extra day's rest. Remember, they beat Northwestern last week on a Friday night. And yet here we are. Iowa has just come out of the locker room firing. USC has been a little bit slow in the rain. I think the rain has actually favored Iowa a little bit.
So just to play devil's advocate here, what do you think USC needs to do to make a comeback?
They got to put the ball in the hands of Jaden Mayava and just kind of let him work. I think on that touchdown drive that ended with USC making it 14-7, Mayava was key. Let's actually take a look at some of the plays from that drive. You obviously just saw them if you were watching the game. Mayava on third down, he made it happen. This was a 3rd and 7, the one I'm highlighting. It turned into a first down conversion, I should say, on a pass intended for Jacoby Lane. That was obviously a pass interference penalty, or a holding penalty, I should say, on Deshaun Lee. And then on 3rd and 1, Mayava, he can run it too, just like Gronowski. On a 3rd and 1, he turned it into a 20-yard gain. And then on another 3rd down play, it was Mayava throwing it to Walker Lyons. So I think if you're USC, you got to keep the ball in the hands of Jaden Mayava. He's your possible NFL quarterback, and he's good with his arm and he's good with his legs. If you're Iowa and those linebackers, I think the biggest key is in the back 7 for Iowa. Those linebackers and defensive backs, can they keep their eyes on Mayava, especially on 3rd down, and keep him contained?
For sure. Any other final thoughts before we sign off and get ready for that second half?
Special teams. I think so far they haven't done anything to lose the game for Iowa. Reese Dakin, the punter, obviously had that safety last week on a bad snap. So far, Iowa fans, hold your breath. It's been all good in the special teams. Can Iowa maybe take a punt return deep into USC territory, a kick return? We haven't heard a lot from Caden Weechen on special teams. He's just he's been good. He's been good. Don't tell me. I don't want to say he's not been good. He's been great all year. He's been good today. Can he make one big play, either a touchdown or a big return, to set up Iowa in plus territory? It's been Iowa wins games with all 3 phases. They've been good on defense. Not great, good on defense. They've been great on offense, and they've been good on special teams. Can special teams make one great play, and can defense make one great play? We haven't seen an interception or a fumble yet. But with a wet ball, you never know what's going to happen. So if I'm Iowa, I think the offense is fine. For once, there's not like any tinkering I need to do if I'm Tim Lester. And if you're the defense, I think if you cause one good turnover and get your offense set up in USC territory, that could be the game.
Definitely not a time for them to let up just yet.
Nope, not yet.
All right. So I think that's all we have for the halftime report.
I think that's it. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
And we'll come back streaming at 6, and Jack will be here to talk a little bit more about Iowa and some high school football as well. And, of course, catch us at 10. We'll have a full report from the game.
All right,
thanks, Jack. Thanks for watching. If I can get this up. Sorry about that, guys. Be sure to tune in at 6 and 10. Thanks again.